What's going on, Saints fans? We are live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports to break down the latest updates, injury news, and everything that you need to know around the black and gold. A lot of things to discuss, some injury updates around some key starters on the offense. We're going to go through a mock draft as well, and we always love to dive into a mailbag. So make sure you hang out throughout the duration of this video. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now. And give me a hoot at in the comment section. Obviously, the big news of the day, too, Justin Tucker. He is going to be working out for the New Orleans Saints. We're going to break that down here in just a little bit. But if you're tired of the Saints losing, give me a hoot at in the comment section. I see Kyron. I see Jerry G. I see Jartavius. I see I Love Football. I see Slim South. I see Isaiah. Kyron, good to see everyone. Jaden, good to see you, my friend. Give me a hoot at if you're tired of losing games. I'm so fed up with it. It's just like, it's not fun, man. It's just not fun. And I'm somebody who likes to have a good time, so kind of sucks when we're not winning. Shannon, good to see you. Goat Explosion, good to see you. Slim South. Kevin, thank you for the hoot-ats in the chat. I see somebody saying we need a new kicker. Well, good news is the Saints are looking to upgrade in that position. Justin Tucker, Cade York, they are trying out for the New Orleans Saints. According to reports this morning, we have already broken this down in full detail on the channel. So if you want to get more information around this specific topic, I highly encourage you to check out the video we put out earlier today. But here's the spark notes. So Justin Tucker, Cade York, they are trying out because Blake Grupe has been awful this season. He hasn't been very good, to be totally honest, throughout his duration and being with the Saints. A lot of frustrating moments. But at the end of the day, the Saints are looking to upgrade at that position. Now, when it comes to Justin Tucker, obviously we have to address the things that have happened off the field. There have been some allegations for some misconduct that happened off the field, and there's a lot of them. For what it's worth, Justin Tucker denied the claims, did not appeal the suspension, and he was reinstated on November 11th, just a couple of weeks ago, after serving a 10-game suspension. So Justin Tucker is available to play. I will say, allegations or not, I don't necessarily know if I love the idea of bringing in Justin Tucker. He wasn't really even that good for the Ravens last year, and I just... My thing with Justin Tucker is I just don't think that he is the player he used to be. I think that there's just a lot of extracurriculars now with him. I think that there's off-the-field problems and distractions that necessarily won't help. I don't love the idea of bringing in Justin Tucker. It's also an optics nightmare, and, like, there's better options. There's got to be a better option than Justin Tucker. But at one point in time, he was one of the best kickers in the league. Got to acknowledge that part. However, I think I'm good. Other option was Cade York, drafted by the Browns in the 4th round of 2022. LSU legend, by the way, was a national champion, in case you guys didn't know. 75% of his field goals were successful in his rookie campaign. The following summer, though, he was released, and then he spent some time bouncing around the league. Played with the Commanders, played with the Bengals. He was on the Bengals practice squad last year. Wasn't ultra effective. However, he's a player who's young, and there is upside, so maybe the New Orleans Saints want to give him a call. Other names to kind of consider, Rodrigo Blankenship was one that I've thought about. Dustin Hopkins, he's available as well. You have the internal option at Charlie Smith, so maybe he's somebody that the New Orleans Saints explore. Kellen Moore today did speak to media, and he said that that Charlie Smith is going to be getting an opportunity to compete, and he is definitely in this conversation. Kellen Moore also saying that he has not made a decision on whether or not they will move on from Blake Grupe. However, they are looking at options, and they are taking into consideration everything. To me, that says we understand that it's not good right now. We understand that we need an upgrade. Let's see what's available. If there's a better option, we'll bring him in, and if there's not, then you roll with Blake Grupe or Charlie Smith. So that is the latest around the kicker front for the New Orleans Saints. Pick one for me. If you had to sign one, or if you had to have one of these kickers, let me know which kicker you would like to have in New Orleans. Blake Grupe, Justin Tucker, Cade York. Lopez, what do you think on this?
I think we go back, we watch College Game Day, and see which student had the best leg. Let's sign them.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Anything's better than Blake Grupe, dude. Like,
exactly.
I actually think that that's not the worst idea in the world. The other thing that we could consider doing is just find like an adult soccer league around the city somewhere and just be like, You're now the kicker. I just go with that.
Another idea.
Uh-huh.
We wait 18 years, but we call dibs on Brandon Aubrey's first kid.
Yes, or Cam Little's kid.
They have a child together.
They adopt a kid together.
And they raise him as their own.
Yes.
I would watch that movie.
I would sign up for that kicker, too. I think that would be an excellent option. The chat is saying some Justin Tucker, a lot of Cade Yorks. Cade York or Blake Groupie, just not Justin Tucker from Isaiah. In the offseason, I wanted Brandon Aubrey, Jake Bates, Eddie Pinheiro, or Michael Bagley.
I think everybody wanted Brandon Aubrey in the offseason.
I don't think there was anybody out there who didn't want him. I will say right now, I don't think the Saints need to be spending a draft pick on a kicker. If they do, I'd be very worried about that. If you're going to do it, use a 6th-round pick, I guess. But
I feel like only way you ever draft a kicker is like he's actually legendary in college.
Like if he's like elite.
Like I know Roberto Aguayo did not pan out. He was damn good in college.
Well, that's the thing too with like Jake Moody. He was awesome in college.
Yeah.
He was automatic at Michigan.
Like if you're gonna take a risk, it needs to be someone that.
Cade York, he was great in college. Like it's kind of like I'd rather just keep going the UDFA's. Honestly, bring in like 3 of them and just let them roll. Let them see what happens. Just see what happens. Bring in like 3. You bring in like another couple punters, like another couple kickers. Doesn't matter what we need to do. All I know is something needs to improve.
Bring in a couple new special teams coaches.
It's a disaster. Jaden asking some #Saints. Mike Nintendo Master, you want the good news? Of course I want some good news, Mike. I'm a Saints fan. We're itching for some good news here.
We don't have good news very often.
No, not often. All right, if you got a question or a hot take, use #Saints or send in a super chat. Friendly reminder, we did go through the kicker options and kicker discussion in full detail earlier today. That's why you subscribe. That's why you turn on your notifications, because when it was breaking news that drops, Saints Now also has a video for you. So if you have a question or a hot take, we're going to be getting into a mailbag in the back half of this live show. Also going to go through some wide receiver targets. Saints need players. Who's out there? We're going to go through practice squad members. We're going to go through free agency. I went through each team's practice squad, and I picked a few wide receivers. So we're going to have a conversation about who the Saints could potentially poach or sign and maybe have some reunions in the near future. Mike Nintendo, I'm asking, you will be in the top 5 in rankings. Let's go. What are the targets for O-line? Good question from Mike Nintendo Master. We'll have to see what we can do on the offensive line front in the draft especially. I think that's somewhere the Saints should potentially look, but I don't want to spend prime capital on the O-line anymore. Kind of in the camp of let's go grab some weapons. Let's go grab some high-end talent just to make the team better. I love how Kellen Moore used Mason Tipton from I Love Football. I do too. I thought he was really good. Jerry G, Trizzy, Lopez, and Who Dat Nation. After Kirk Cousins threw that touchdown pass, I stopped watching it and watched something else. Yeah. I unfortunately was unable to turn it off. However, I would have if I was allowed to, but I don't think my boss would have been very happy. By the way, Kellen Moore on Justin Tucker's tryout. Here's the quote. He said, he's been one of the leaders for an extended period of time on a very successful team. Obviously, there's been some stuff that's been unfortunate. He's gone through an experience, and I think it's all about collecting what that experience was. So that's certainly a quote. But what are you going to do? Anyway, if you have a question, hot take, player you want to sign, draft target, anything like that, let me know. Use #Saints. Send in a super chat if you want to skip the line and spend a little extra time on your question, dive in a little bit deeper. But without further ado, we're going to get into the content. Some injury updates to start from Kellen Moore and from some players. And then we're going to dive into a mock draft. And then we're going to get into the mailbag. Hope you guys are excited for this show. Make sure you drop a like if you're ready. By the way, the New Orleans Saints did. I see somebody say, go get Deshaun Watson. Saints tried to get him after the whole thing with the Texans, just FYI. In case you didn't know. But that is tis what tis.
Hey, we never got Deshaun Watson. Do we make up for that and we get Justin Tucker?
Yeah. Exactly. Jerry G, are you crazy? You know I'm crazy.
Maybe.
I Love Football says Trizzy's going to kill this mock draft. Stick around. We'll get to it here in a moment. Without further ado, Lopez, when you are ready, my friend, let's dive on into some injury updates. Yes. We got injury updates to discuss here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Kellen Moore and these players have both given us some updates, so we're going to dive on in. Taliese Fuaga is dealing with a high ankle sprain. Alvin Kamara dealing with an ankle injury, but added a knee injury this week against the Falcons. So if you want more news, updates, and information around your favorite team, daily videos right here on Saints Now by Chat Sports, so be sure to subscribe. Injury update on Taliese Fuaga to start things off. I want to first say, all things considered, it's probably a good thing that the New Orleans Saints didn't force Taliese Fuaga back on the field. He's been dealing with the high ankle sprain over the last handful of weeks, and he did return to practice before the Week 12 game, however, was ruled inactive. We saw him as a non-participant and then upgrade to a limited participant throughout the week on the injury report, but Taliese Fuaga said his injury, it was very achy. Certain movements didn't feel really good, so that's ultimately why he did not play. And I also think that this is a good thing for the New Orleans Saints because you didn't force him back. You didn't make him potentially risk further injury, give him a little bit extra time to recover, so that way he can be ready to roll and be ready to play at a high level whenever he is healthy. Hopefully that is soon, but for right now it seems like it's going to be a little bit of a week-to-week situation. We're going to monitor it, and we'll know more throughout the week as practice and injury reports come out on Wednesday. Now, this is a positive update for Taliese Fuaga, all things considered. He did deal with a similar injury when he was with Oregon State back in college, and he did say that whenever it came to that injury, this helped him rehabbing it this time around. Shout out to Matthew Peras, who did an awesome write-up around this. I highly encourage you to go check it out. But for the offensive line, this is a much better unit whenever you have Taliese Fuaga in the mix. Awesome Richards did start on the right tackle position last week against the Atlanta Falcons, and you saw the pass rush for Atlanta cause a lot of problems. The defensive line spent a lot of time in the backfield for New Orleans, and it's really, really frustrating that the Saints were unable to have a game plan and were unable to effectively stop the Falcons' defensive line. But when you have Kelvin Banks and Taliese Fuaga on the field, that is a really, really nice unit in my personal opinion. I think the Saints did upgrade at the guard position, by the way, when they traded away Trevor Penning. Dylan Radins, I think, is fine. Luke Fortner, he's not Eric McCoy, but he's serviceable to say the least. And Cesar Ruiz, very frustrating, to be totally honest. He needs to get off this roster as soon as possible. The Saints do not need to bring him back next year. He's very, very frustrating. It feels like the interior of the offensive line is where most of these problems are coming. And I did tweet this out during the game, or after the game, I should say. It was really, really frustrating to know that the second there's a few injuries or one injury or anything happens to the offensive line, the entire offense just goes straight to shit. Like, it really is frustrating. You can't get anything going offensively. And some of that is the play calling. Some of that is the lack of weapons and the lack of talent. Large part of that is also on the offensive line for not giving running backs lanes, not giving Tyler Shuck protection and opportunities to throw the ball, not giving the receivers time to get downfield and get open. Like, I really do have a lot of faith in the tackles positions, and I really like the future with your bookend tackles being Kelvin Banks and Taliese Fuaga. I think that's a nice duo right there, and I personally would not like to spend prime draft capital on an offensive tackle again this year, or an offensive lineman for that matter at all. I know that it's a big need, but when it comes to the tackle position, you're good there. I think that those two guys are your bookend tackles as long as they stay healthy. Now, the interior offensive line, that's where the things really start to rise. And for me, I am kind of tired of drafting and developing O-line. I'd like to just go ahead and buy a nice line as soon as possible. And that's not going to be able to happen all the way across the board because the New Orleans Saints do have to spend money elsewhere and fill roster holes because they have so many. You also have to consider their cap space next year. But I think that it's much smarter for the Saints to invest in the guard position and bring in some new guys rather than paying what they have or drafting players and just hoping they develop and trying to see if it works out. I'm over it. I would like to just pay for a good offensive line and let's just go out there and fix everything. It would help the red zone issues. It would help the offensive productivity just in general. So positive updates for Taliese Fuaga. I still think the majority of the issues for the O-line, though, are on the interior side. Now we're going to talk about Alvin Kamara and his injury update coming up next because Kellen Moore did speak about that. But first things first, got to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. This episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports brought to you by the by the best daily fantasy sports app, and that is Prize Picks, my favorite way to spend game day. These Saints games are so tough to watch, and to be totally honest, the only way to get a spark is watching my team get blown out, but making some money while playing Prize Picks. The holiday season is the absolute best time of the year for sports. You got bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, and it's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day on what gifts to buy, what to eat, and which games to watch, there's only one place where it feels good to be right, and that's Prize Picks. My favorite thing about Prize Picks is picking multiple sports in the same lineup. With basketball back, I can now pick Derek Queen and Tyler Shuck to pop off in the same lineup and root for both. And new feature alert, wee woo, wee woo, Prize Picks now has early payouts. You heard that right. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. Now, for Turkey Day on Thanksgiving, if you need an idea and some inspiration on how Prize Picks works, I'm going to go with the quarterback lineup from each game on Thanksgiving. Jared Goff, going to take the more on his passing yards. Patrick Mahomes, also going to take the more on his because I feel like Patty Mahomes is going to put on a show on a holiday. And Joe Burrow hasn't been known to bounce back immediately when he returns to games. However, I do think he'll have a good game, but I'm going to take the less on his passing yards. If you want to fade these picks, if you want to tail the picks, don't care what you do, just make sure you do it on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started today. Now, in terms of an injury update on Alvin Kamara, we also broke this down on an early morning edition of Saints Now. We had Overreaction Monday and some news, and then we got into the Justin Tucker update, so this is the third time we've put out some content today. Hey, we're out hustling everyone, I'll guess. Shout out to Nick Underhill for giving us this update yesterday. I made a short about it, gave you some quick insights, so not going to spend too much time talking about what we already know. But in terms of Alvin Kamara, it's an MCL sprain. It could take a little bit of time. Nothing super serious, nothing threatening long term, and we're going to have to see what happens, but it seems like he avoided major injury, so early signs are positive for Alvin Kamara. Now, Kellen Moore was directly asked about this situation by media during his press conference on Monday, and here's what he said. Kind of stuttered a little bit, adding a little context here. He answered and then kind of shifted really quick. He said he'll be out for, we'll see if he's available this week. It's kind of like one of those things. If he's available, awesome. If not, Devin Neal, I thought, did an awesome job hopping in there and competing. Now, the injury news for Alvin Kamara, it is deflating, and it is something that I would like to see get resolved sooner rather than later. Lopez even earlier said, is this the end of Alvin Kamara? I don't necessarily know, but I can tell you this is a huge hit to an offense that already struggles to create offensive productivity and explosive plays. You lose yet another explosive piece to that side of the football. And with Alvin Kamara, he's obviously dealing with the injury. So Devin Neal and Audric Estime are your two players on the roster right now. You have Evan Hull on the practice squad. Kellen Moore also said that they're going to be working out players and looking elsewhere to potentially address this position as well as wide receiver. He says they're always looking for that. But when it comes to how the Saints move forward in the future, first of all, stop force-feeding Taysom Hill. Second of all, keep handing the ball to Devin Neal. I thought that he provided a nice spark to the team against Atlanta, and I think that whenever he's gotten on the field and had some touches, he starts to get going, and you saw him really start to get the thing rolling, and then they put Taysom Hill in, or then they take him off the field. Like, I don't know why. And I thought that Devin Neal provided some really nice juice to the passing game. I thought that he was a very reliable option as a check down target for Tyler Shuck. He was able to create some yardage on most of those plays. In terms of his rushing yards, I know that it wasn't anything that pops off the screen, but I thought he ran really, really hard, and I think that he's a player who deserves and should be getting more touches, especially considering this Alvin Kamara injury as well. Like, I'm not saying anything against Audric Estime, but you really got to consider giving Devin Neal a ton of carries moving forward, and you got to see what you have in this player, because I think that running back is a need moving forward for this team. And to be totally honest, I don't hate the idea of a high-end running back like a Jeremiyah Love and Devin Neal on this team in the future of this offense. I think that's very, very bright, but you need to get more information. You need to learn more about Devin Neal. And to be totally honest, he's a player that I want to see more of. And I think he's a player that the Who Dat Nation and can get excited about because he's just another rookie that is providing a little bit of extra juice to the team. Now, in terms of the rushing attack as a whole, I know this is kind of redundant to say, and it's kind of tough to have this conversation because it's like, well, no shit, this offense needs to find a way to get the rushing attack moving. They're terrible on the ground. The offensive line is bad. The play calling isn't amazing. The talent just isn't necessarily there. I don't really know what to make of this season. I just think that when it comes to the rushing attack, it's been extremely underwhelming, especially considering the high-end talent of Alvin Kamara. Of course, Kendre Miller's dealing with an injury, and he's out for the season. But, like, it just that part of the offense needs to find a way to get operating at a high level, because then it'll open up the offense for everyone else, and it'll take a lot of pressure off of Tyler Shuck. You saw that was a recipe for success against Carolina. The rushing attack, very prominent. Against Atlanta, it was non-existent, and we saw how both of those games went. Now, if you're tired of the injuries, if you're tired of the bad vibes, and you're tired of this team just having all sorts of problems, type F injuries in the comments, please and thank you. I need the injury bug out of New Orleans. Now, I appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us here on this edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. Quick synopsis on the video. We got injury updates on Taliese Fuaga and Alvin Kamara. For Fuaga, he's dealing with the high ankle sprain. He did not play last week because he felt achy, but he feels like he's recovering faster than he did in college. So for Taliese Fuaga, maybe we'll see him back this week. Kellen Moore said for Alvin Kamara, if he's available this week, that's awesome. If not, Devin Neal will be getting a lot of touches. And, he'll probably be out for some time with his knee injury as well as an ankle injury. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. Boom! First segment in the chamber. First segment. What'd y'all think there? What'd y'all think of that one? Did you guys enjoy the injury news there?
Hell yeah. Derek Queen mentioned in the ad read. Love it.
Oh, yeah. We're showing love to the New Orleans Legends now.
Yeah.
Imagine if Prize Picks was around when Drew Brees and Michael Thomas were playing. Like, I just would have hit
more.
Would have been like a lizard. Would have been like that, but more. Got to stay hydrated, baby. All righty. Let's get into the mock draft. Who's ready for the mock draft? 62 people watching. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us right now.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, make sure you drop a like on this video. We'll get to the mock draft when we get to 25 likes. Ayo! Shout out to CTM. $10 super chat. Appreciate you, my friend. We'll pop that up here in just one moment. We'll also make sure we include this in the mailbag as well.
You better do some homework then, because I don't know if you're watching North Carolina A&T.
Is that Ag Tech?
I think.
Or is that supposed to be NC State?
No, North Carolina A&T is a real place.
Is it? Andrew Brown. I'm going to look him up. Mr. Brown. All right. North Carolina A&T. Andrew Brown, redshirt senior. Got him pulled up right here from Lexington, North Carolina. Career. Let's see. Was he a punter and a kicker? Oh, wow.
We need both.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
That's perfect. So, these are kickoff. Field goal. He was 12 of 15 in 20. So, in 2025, 12 of 15. Wait, 15 of 18. A long of 56. He has an 83.3 completion percentage. 71.43 total career percentage. Nice. Just a little birdie letting the Golden Gang know there's a redshirt senior kicker from NC A&T. Forgive me for not knowing.
I think they're like the Bulldogs or something. They're like purple
Aggies,
and yellow.
All Aggies. They're yellow and blue.
Oh.
A&T. Maybe, yeah. Forgive me for not knowing a ton about NCAA.
I can't believe you're not dialed into NCAA.
I know, honestly, I need to be better.
Wow.
But Little Birdie told, just letting the Golden Gang know, there's a redshirt senior from NCAA University that broke the school record with a 56-yard field goal. His name is Andrew Brown. Bro has a boot. Hey, dude's got a boot. He's a kicker and a punter, which is pretty interesting. Oh, he hasn't punted this season, but he punted a few times last year, which is pretty cool. Field goal statistics, he's 15 of 18, a long of 56. This year he has an 83.3 field goal percentage. He's had 2 of his field goals blocked, so there is that. But, hey, anything, right? Anything, right?
Can't be much worse than what we have.
Can't be worse than what we got. Bring in every kicker until you find one. I think that's what you do. Just every kicker until you find one. Honestly, I should just do a mock draft where I draft only special teams players.
We just revamped special teams in our 2026 draft class.
Yeah. CTM, appreciate your $10 super chat, my friend. We will definitely bring this up in the mailbag, and we will let the Houdat Nation also weigh in on this one as well. Speaking of draft and speaking of mock draft season, we're going to get into it. Who wants to do a mock draft?
Who's ready to mock out with your...
Rock out with your mock out?
Yeah, that.
Did you get the Fanatics item in there?
Dog jersey?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Dog jersey.
If any of you have a furry friend at home...
Yeah, does anyone have a dog? Does anyone have a pet at home? If you do, type me.
Does anyone have a dog on their Christmas list? Basically, you're going to have a dog.
How about the Dallas kicker that hits from 70? If the kicker,
I think he's employed as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, if the Cowboys move off of Brandon Aubrey, Jerry, it would be time officially to take him out back.
What would I wonder what that trade would look like.
Yeah, genuinely curious about how much that would cost in a trade.
Like,
I mean, I'm going to say, like...
I don't think second-round pick is crazy.
I was thinking like a third or a fourth. I was like, I mean, but like automatic, like...
Basically, you get across the 50, you're guaranteed 3 points.
Like, do you know how helpful that would be right now? For a team that struggles to score any points, I'm sure there's at least another win in there if we have Brandon Aubrey. I'm just saying.
Someone would.
But the Cowboys would never. I can't say they would never.
They would never trade Micah Parsons.
They should never. Yeah, they should never move off of him. Yeah, they would never move off of Micah Parsons, but we all saw how that went. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Mock draft 5.0. Who's ready? Who is ready? Top 5 world. What up from Oak Grove? Good to see you, my friend. All right, let's get into it. Mock draft 5.0. Time to rock out with our mocks out. Mock draft 5.0 here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. New Orleans currently holds the number 3 pick after the loss to Atlanta. So we're going to have a brand new mock draft with the 3rd overall selection. Now, first things first, I want to address a very key point in this mock draft, something to consider. I would like to address the trenches specifically on the offensive line in free agency. That's where I want to address the guards. So you're not going to see any prime draft picks on any offensive linemen. I understand there's going to be people who are upset about that, but I would rather spend money there than prioritize them in the draft. So just go with me on this and understand that we've already spent some money on the trenches to help improve the O-line. Now, first things first, it's our turn to make a pick. But wait, we got a trade. Mock draft trade. First things first. The Vikings made a call. They want to hop up pretty far in the draft. So I said, you know what? You want to make a big jump? I'm going to take some prime capital. So I'm going to be taking the 12th and the 44th overall selection this year. I'm going to be getting the 112th overall pick this year. And then in 2027, I'm going to be getting a 1st and a 4th round pick in the Vikings. They move up to number 3. So with the 12th overall selection, it's time to bring some juice to the offense. I'm going with Jeremiyah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame. This guy is a freak. When it comes to Jeremiyah Love, the ability to create something out of nothing is absolutely insane. He is a very, very good football player. He has been ultra productive for the Fighting Irish, back-to-back seasons over 1,100 yards. And in terms of his receiving ability, 26 catches for 274 yards and 3 touchdowns over there as well. He is somebody that I am very, very interested in and I think would be absolutely elite in a Kellen Moore offense. And I think that he would do an excellent job taking some pressure off of Tyler Shough. And I think he'd be really complimentary to Devin Neal in terms of having that 1-2 punch between the two of them. Now, what do you think? Do you like this pick in round 1? Would you or would you not draft Jeremiyah Love in the first round? Type draft, type pass. Let me know what you're thinking. Let's get into round 2. I'm going to go ahead and beef up the trenches on the defensive line, and I'm going to get Christian Miller, the defensive interior player from Georgia. Now, this guy isn't somebody who's going to be crazy as a pass rusher. He is somewhat effective in that regard, but he's elite as a run stopper. In 2024, 8 tackles. But in terms of his 2020, hold on, I think we need to pause this one. 2024 stats. Hold on. Yes, let's reset here because I want to make sure that we give him. I don't want to make do 2. Okay, cool. And then also, I've noticed something. Hey, guys, you're seeing how the sausage is made. I saw in the trade for the second line, or the 112 overall. Can you add the TH? Sorry, I missed that in the graphics review. My bad. But yeah, Christian Miller is going to be our second round pick, by the way. We're going to get back into it in just 1 second, y'all. Sorry about that. Wanted to make sure that the information's correct for you. Huh? Yeah, we'll just start from the top here. All the other ones were 2025 though, right? Okay, but all of them now are 2025? Okay, cool. And then did you fix the trade? Sweet. Cool, yeah. Yeah, Jeremiyah Love, by the way, let's see what you guys think. Yeah, he's fast. I started to pick him in my mocks. He top 5 world would draft him. I like the Texas running back Wisner as well from Jartavius. Hey, Ricky, good to see you, brother. Kentrell, I want Jeremiyah Love. That would be a fun one, man. He is a freak. He is a freak of nature. All right, resetting. Trizzy stinks at his job, so we're going to reset here because I'm just trying to make sure that I give you all the best content. Sorry about that, folks. Restarting in 3, 2, and 1. Welcome into Mock Draft 5.0. It's time to rock out with our mocks out. The New Orleans Saints hold the number 3 overall selection after losing to the Atlanta Falcons. So loser talk, silver lining, the Saints still hold a prime draft pick. Now, a very big need for this team is the interior offensive line, and I want to address something very quickly. The Saints, in my opinion, should spend money on guards in free agency. I don't want to draft any guards in the prime pick. I don't want to prioritize that in the draft. I want them to buy their offensive line, have them be good and ready to roll. And with that being understood, this mock draft is not going to have a ton of interior offensive linemen. Just wanted to let y'all know. But we do have a trade alert in our 5.0, mock draft 5.0. The Vikings are making a call to hop up from number 12 overall to number 3. So I said, fine. But I'm want a haul. So in 2026, I'm getting a first and a second round pick, the number 12 and number 44 overall selection. And then in 2026, I'm also getting a 4th round pick, the 112th overall selection. And in 2027, I'm getting their 1st and their 4th round pick. I think it's a pretty good trade. And I think that next year we're going to be able to add even more to this squad. Now, when it comes to my 1st round pick, I'm in a prime spot to add some juice to this offense. Jeremiyah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. You, my friend, are a New Orleans Saint. I am in love with this player. I think this would be an excellent selection. I think he would be awesome in a Kellen Moore offense. Ultra productive for the Fighting Irish. He's somebody that can contribute at a pretty high level as well in the receiving game. He's somebody that I think could be really, really nice in a 1-2 punch next to Devin Neal. I also think when it comes to Jeremiyah Love, he could provide a ton to the offense to take a lot of pressure off of Tyler Shough. And moving forward, I think that running back is a need for this team. It may not be the biggest one, but if you have the opportunity to add a player like this to your team, I think it would be silly to not make it happen. So would you draft Jeremiyah Love in the 1st round? Type draft, type pass. Let me know what you think in the comment section. The live chat seems to agree with me a little bit. Now, round 2, we're going to address the defensive line. Christian Miller, the defensive tackle from Georgia. Really like this idea, really like this player. For what it's worth, he's not much of a pass rusher, but he can contribute in that regard. But he is really, really good when it comes to stopping the run. And I know that you have some quality defensive linemen in the defensive interior, and I think that the rushing attack or the rushing defense for the New Orleans Saints has gotten better as the season's progressed, but I really want to see them maximize their defensive line. I want to see them get after the quarterback. I want to see them be very effective as a run-stopping unit. So I went with Christian Miller, the defensive interior lineman from Georgia, the big 6'4", 305-pound player. I think could be awesome on Brandon Staley's defense. Round 2, let's get Tyler Shuck, a familiar face. Chris Bell, you better get ready to learn beignet, my friend. Wide receiver out of Louisville. Really, really, really fun player to watch. I got to tell you, go turn on the tape, and when you go back in time and you look at him with Tyler Shuck, over 17 yards per catch with Shuck at the quarterback position. But in 2025, he's been even more productive. 6 touchdowns on the year, almost 1,000 yards. He has been absolutely electric for Louisville, and I would love a reunion with Chris Bell and Tyler Shuck. I think wide receiver is one of the biggest needs for this team. So if you want to go Jordan Tyson round 1, I don't blame you. If you want to prioritize getting Carnell Tate somewhere, I don't blame you whatsoever. But I think that there are some fine options that you can get later, not super late, but like, round 2, round 3 that are really, really intriguing. Chris Bell, one of the most intriguing. Another name to look out for, Elijah Surratt. I like him a lot too. Now, round 3, I want to add some more to the offense. And look, I understand that maybe this is a little bit of a reach, but tight end, we've got to maximize that position. And I think that it is a need. And quite frankly, I would like to bring in some high-level talent that's cheap, that can be a contributor, that can do a lot of different things. Jack Endries is my pick in the 3rd round for this mock draft. Look, he's somebody that can do a little bit of everything. And he isn't ultra productive, but at one point in time, he was a not one point in time. This year, he has been coming alive in the Texas Longhorns offense, and I think that he's somebody that could provide that extra tight end help, because it feels like Foster Moreau just really hasn't had much of a role this season since returning from his injury. So I feel like bringing in a high-level tight end to the offense would make a lot of sense. Max Clare is another name to keep your eyes peeled on. Elijah Stowers, he's another one, or Eli Stowers, Elijah Stowers. I really like him as well. Michael Briggs, I believe, is the guy out of Baylor. Like, there's a handful of options here, and maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but I really like the idea of bringing in a tight end like Jack Endries and prioritizing tight end because, quite frankly, the offense needs all the help they can get. Now, I know that the Saints season has been tough, but if you got a furry friend at home and you want to give him a nice little gift for the holiday season, get him a Saints jersey. I got Dude one of these. I'll tell you what, they are 1-0 when he wears this jersey. However, it was dirty this past week. That is on me for not washing it during the bye week. But we're going to make sure Dude is in the jersey the rest of the season. So bring some good vibes to your pets, bring some good vibes to your house, and get yourself a new jersey for your good boy or your good girl. Chatsports.com/SaintsPet. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get a dog jersey on sale today. All right, I want to address defense. We've talked a lot on offense. I want to get back to the defensive side of football. Keon Sabb, safety out of Alabama. Lines up everywhere, does a little bit of everything. He's a player that I think Brandon Staley could get really creative with. And quite frankly, when it comes to the Saints defense, specifically the defensive backs, I do really like the young core of Kool-Aid McKinstry, Quincy Riley. I really like Jonas Sanker. I think Jordan Howden has had some good moments as well. But Justin Reed is somebody that you have to plan for life after. And it's not like Justin Reed's been an elite safety by any means, but I do think that he's been better than what some Saints fans have been giving him credit for. Keon Sabb can be a player that can provide a lot to the defense. And quite frankly, when you have the ability to upgrade the talent and get a little bit younger, get a little bit cheaper, I don't think that there's a bad selection to make, especially for a team like the Saints that have holes all over the roster. Now, offensive line, I said that I want to spend money here, but I'm also going to get some depth. I'm going to get a player that just in case there's an injury or just in case something happens, we have somebody that's developing right as we can go. Now, DJ Campbell, the guard out of Texas, he was a 5-star recruit. All of his snaps in college were at the right guard position, so he would replace Cesar Ruiz. And quite frankly, I am tired of watching Cesar Ruiz play football for this team. There's no reason the Saints should have extended him. He has not been good. He had a handful of good games, and that's why they paid him a bunch of money, and he has not been reliable. I'm tired of bad play from him. I'm tired of always saying, oh, look, Cesar Ruiz, missed block. Oh, look, bad rushing block because Cesar Ruiz can't. Like, it's just really, really frustrating. So DJ Campbell, I think he's a high-level player that could do some really good things for this offensive line, provide some depth, and be a nice developmental piece that has high-end ability. He was a 5-star recruit, and he could turn into something nice for the foreseeable future. Now, another pick in the 4th round, I'm going wide receiver again, double dipping. I don't give a damn. We need all the help we can get. Zachariah Branch, Georgia wide receiver, an extremely dynamic playmaker. He is very, very dangerous when he's in open space. You can line him up anywhere in the offense. You can have him rush the ball. You can have him receive the ball. He can do whatever you want him to do. He is ultra versatile, and he is an extremely good athlete. And I think when it comes to the New Orleans Saints, having a player like Zachariah Branch could add a little bit of an explosive element to this offense. And like I said, you have nothing on the offense right now. Chris Olave, I love him, but we need more wide receiver help than just Chris Olave. Devon Vele, not getting it done. Shout out to Mason Tipton. You need more players. Like, I just believe you need as many offensive weapons as you can get. Surround Tyler Shuck with high-level players. And if he doesn't work out, sink or swim, boom, you got a good roster, and you can plug in a new quarterback whenever you have another high draft pick. Now, round 5, going back to defense. Snip, snap, snip, snap. Anto Saka, the edge rusher out of Northwestern. Look, I think when it comes to the defensive line, they've been getting better. And especially since Chase Young returned from his injury, I really like what I've seen out of that area of the roster. Now, Cam Jordan is not getting any younger. Carl Granderson, I would say, hasn't been playing amazing. It's not like he was horrible, but, you know, I think that you need some extra help opposite of Chase Young. I think you need some extra bodies, and quite frankly, I don't think there's anything wrong with adding more to the rotation. Anto Saka, 7 tackles, 3 sacks on the year, 2 forced fumbles. Pretty good against the run, pretty good against or rushing the passer. You know, I again, it's a 5th-round pick. I think that that's not the best place to address a huge need, but at the end of the day, I don't think that it's a bad idea to try and grab another edge rusher and plan for life after Cam Jordan and plan for life. You know, if you want to make a decision on trading Carl Granderson to get some extra capital, like there's a lot of things the Saints could potentially do. I like the idea of grabbing an edge rusher at some point. If you want more mock drafts, this has been the 5th one we've done. Let me know by hitting the sub button right here, right now. During the bye week, we actually didn't do one. I asked if you guys liked them. We didn't really get that many interest in it, so I was like, okay, we'll take a week off, but we're back with the number 3 overall selection, so I'm sure the interest is peaked again. If you want more, hit the sub button right here, right now. A very popular pick in my mock drafts. I think there's only been like one that I haven't taken Nick Harbor in, 1 or 2. I'm just going to be honest. I really like this player. And I know that he's not this game-breaking guy that is going to be unbelievably productive, yada, yada, yada. But, dude, the fact that he is as fast and as athletic as he is with the size that he has, I mean, if he's there in the 5th round, come on. 166th overall pick. Are you kidding me? I would love to add Nick Harbor with that selection. I think that's a great value there. And again, the Saints need all the help they can get. There is nothing wrong with getting as many weapons as possible. Nick Harbor, super fast. Has some issues, sure, but it's a 5th-round pick, and I believe the New Orleans Saints need to add as much wide receiver and pass-catching help and tight end help and running back help and offensive help as they can at this point in their existence of a franchise, because it's a joke what they're doing out there. Okay, this one's going to ruffle some feathers. Round 6. I actually can't believe I did this. Diego Pavia. We're going to take the Vanderbilt quarterback in the 6th round, our last pick of this draft. Look, I'm not picking him to be a quarterback. I'm not picking him to replace Tyler Shuck. I'm picking him simply for the fact that he is a football player, he is a dude, and he is a Energizer bunny when it comes to being a spark on an offense. Good when it comes to passing. Not elite, but good when it comes to passing. His rushing stats are crazy, 661 yards, averages 5 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns along of 36 on 132 carries. I mean, like, you want a weapon. You want somebody that can just play offense and play football for you. 6th-round flyer, why the hell not? I mean, it gives Kellen Moore a joker. It gives him somebody who can do whatever the hell you want. By no means am I saying he is the next Taysom Hill, but if you wanted somebody who could throw the football and run the football and provide a spark to the offense whenever he touches the field, I'm not sitting here saying the Saints need Diego Pavia. I can't even believe it myself that I took him. But screw it, why not? It's Mock Draft 5.0. Why not have a little bit of fun? Recapping our Mock Draft 5.0. Started off with Jeremiyah Love. We went heavy on offense here. The Saints need all the help they can get. I understand that maybe this isn't one that you guys love. But don't forget, we also got a first and a fourth round pick next year added to the mix. So I think you can also address more needs in the next draft as well. Let me know what you think of this mock draft. Grade it for me, A, B, C, D, or F. Feel free to rip me. Feel free to be honest. Personally, I think this isn't my best mock draft, but I do think it's a pretty good one. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's video. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. This was Mock Draft 5.0. Hope you guys had a wonderful time watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want more content, you can find it right here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. All righty. Mailbag time.
Bang.
Bye. Bye.
You've been waiting to draft Diego Pavia.
Dude, I've been foaming at the mouth to draft Diego Pavia. I need Diego
What he
Pavia.
didn't tell y'all is that was actually his first round pick.
What if he did one of those mock drafts like all kickers? We're taking every.
I would hope that we could at least get a good kicker out of that. At least
We're taking every kicker that we can possibly get. Alrighty. If you guys would like to get onto the mailbag, make sure you use hashtag Saints and then a super chat. We will be doing one more segment and then we will be signing off. No content will go out at the end of the day because we've already put out 2 videos before noon, and then we got a video or a live show, and that will count as more content for you guys to watch afterwards. So if you are watching this live, appreciate you for tuning into the live content. We do go live every Monday. We go live during game day. Anytime there's massive breaking news, we're here to break it down and give you guys the information you need to know. One more segment. It's a mailbag. We're going to go first through some wide receivers that the New Orleans Saints could potentially add to the roster. We're also going to have the conversation, a two-way conversation, between y'all and us. And we're going to answer questions, respond to hot takes, and answer whatever you guys want to talk about. So if you guys want to be featured on the show, use hashtag Saints or send it super chat. And if you are watching this later, I highly encourage you to tune into the live content. We have a lot of fun. It's very interactive. It's very informative. It's very entertaining. And, it's not supposed to be just me talking at you. It's us having a conversation. So join the community and be a part of it in the future. Subscribe and tune in next time.
Or we will talk at you.
Yeah, we will talk at you, bruh.
Yeah, and you're just going to sit there and take it.
Yeah.
Do something.
Subscribe or else. Swear.
For God.
See what happens if you don't subscribe. If you don't subscribe, Lopez is going to get shoved into a locker after this watch party, or after this live show. Just kidding.
Why does that have to be me?
I would never do that to you. If you could shove one Saints player in a locker today, who would it be? 3, 2, 1. Blake Grupe.
He's like 110 pounds wet.
I'm just
like, that's the easiest to shove into a locker.
Yeah, no, if we're talking about who's easiest to shove into a locker, it would be Blake Grupe.
Well, he would also be the one that I want to shove in the locker the most.
I do want to say for Blake Grupe, I have had the opportunity to have a conversation with him. He's cool, man. He's a good dude. Really, really, don't wish ill will on the human being, but in the human aspect of this makes it tough. But from a football standpoint, it's just been unacceptable and unsustainable, and we got to find a way to improve.
Hey, if only they gave you 3 points for being a cool guy.
Yeah, if only being a good dude or a cool guy led to points. It doesn't, just frustrating. Lopez, I need you to look at this logo. Whenever they go back to the full screen here, what does that L look like?
The L?
In players.
Hold up. Let me look at it again.
Here. I'm sorry. You see it?
Yeah, it looks weird.
You see it?
It looks kind of looks like the corner of a frame.
I thought it looked like an appendage.
Rewind it. Let me.
You have the remote, don't you?
No, do I?
I think so.
No, it's right behind the helmet.
Oh.
Rewind it and pause it. Let me get a second. Is it rounded on one end?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at it the other way.
No, look at the top
I
of
see it now.
It's a little sus.
I see it now. Who allowed that one?
You know what I didn't watch was Bills versus Rams or Bucks versus Rams last night.
You didn't miss much.
You couldn't pay me to watch that game.
You did not miss
There was
much.
nothing about me that wanted to watch that.
Lakers won last night.
Lakers won?
Hell yeah.
Who?
Hell yeah.
Who?
Go Lakers.
Cares?
Okay.
If it's not the Pels, who gives a shit, dude?
I don't give a shit about nothing but the Pels.
Pels are the best team in basketball, bro. We got Derek Queen now. I know that trade was weird, but like I think everyone's happy about Derek Queen. Just be saying it.
Everyone's happy about Derek Queen, but it's gonna kind of suck when the Hawks get like a top 3 pick.
Yeah,
from the Pelicans
for
next
sure.
year.
For sure. That being said, shout out Derek Queen. And of course, it just had to be Atlanta.
Yeah, he now hates the city of Atlanta. It sounds like.
So that's cool.
Go follow Derek Queen on Twitter. He's great.
New Orleans won the trade, per usual. Per usual. Gail Benson is just a merchant when it comes to winning trades. Yeah. Not. All right, let's get into it. Yeah. Mailbag time. If you haven't already, use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat if you would like to be featured. We're going to get into it. Start off first with some wide receiver targets. Lopez, how are we looking on questions? We good?
Yeah, we should be good.
Cool.
We'll make it work.
We have that super chat as well.
Yeah, we'll make it work. If
anybody want to talk about Michael Thomas?
Anyone? Yeah. If y'all do have questions while we are filming, feel free to send them in. They still get registered in the system.
743 days since Michael Thomas last played.
Oh, you're ready for that. You're ready for that question.
Yep, because I know somebody's going to say hashtag sign Michael Thomas.
I'm not going to put it up.
Alrighty, let's party.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute. All right. Ready, Freddy. The wide receiver room in New Orleans is very, very thin. So let's have a conversation. Who is available? Who's in free agency? Who is on a practice squad that the New Orleans Saints could poach? We're going to go through all of the options that the Saints could potentially address in the wide receiver position right here, right now. And then we're going to get into some questions from the Golden Gang. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now, and let's have a good time. The wide receiver room in New Orleans, like I said, very, very thin. You could add Kevin Austin Jr. to the mix. You have Ronnie Bell on the practice squad. Jaquan Jackson was recently added to the practice squad. And we do know that Kellen Moore has said that they are always looking to add there. They're going to bring in some players for some tryouts throughout the week. So I do expect some more names to get added to the wide receiver depth chart. If anything does change, I'll make sure I let you guys know via the shorts tab. So the New Orleans Saints, in my opinion, need some wide receiver help. You agree? If yes, hit the thumbs up icon. If you don't agree, I'm going to ask politely that you get your eyes checked. That's just all I'm going to say. Now, let's talk about the free agents that are available right now for the New Orleans Saints. When it comes to the players that the Saints could sign, it's not a great list. It's not anything that is going to be very inspiring, but there's a handful of familiar faces here. There's always been the OBJ to New Orleans chatter. I don't know, but he can sign now. He's ready to roll. Robert Woods, Nelson Aguilar, Tyler Boyd, Deontay Johnson. I'm going to be honest, keep your team away from Deontay Johnson. He is just not the guy that I think would be beneficial to add to New Orleans whatsoever. DJ Chark, familiar face. Donovan Peoples-Jones, he was with New Orleans for some time. Quez, we've seen him ball out for the black and gold before. And Zach Pascal, a player who has honestly been kind of all over the place over the last couple of years. Look, when it comes to the wide receiver position, obviously the Saints need some help. And you are at the position or the point of the season where you're at week 13. There's the guys that are free agents for a reason. Beggars can't be choosers. So if you want a wide receiver, you may not like the list. If you want to add somebody, that's your list. Unless you go and poach another player off the practice squad. That is something you could do. Sign a player from the practice squad to your active roster. That is something that the Saints, in my opinion, should explore and could explore if they wanted to add more players there. Now, I went through all of the practice squads on Our Lads. I went through each team to see which players I liked, which players I would sign, which players I'm interested in. And here's the list of the top 10 names that I would bring in. I'm not saying that this is a list of players that we need to do. I'm not saying this is a list of guys that are amazing. But look, Gabe Davis might bring something. I don't know. Keith Kirkwood, familiar face. MVS, Saints legend. Maybe you bring him in. Ray McLeod. He's been a player who's found success in this league before. Quez Watkins, Mike Woods, former Arkansas and Oklahoma legend, very high-level player coming out of high school. Kind of hasn't done a ton since he joined the NFL, but he was a player that does have some upside. A.T. Perry, Saints legend. Maybe you right your wrongs, bring him back. Brendan Rice. If I remember correctly, he worked out with the New Orleans Saints a handful of weeks ago. He is with Seattle right now. Again, I'm not saying the Saints need to go and sign any of these players, but if the Saints wanted to add one, maybe you explore this list as well. A.T. Perry, for what it's worth, I know a lot of people will say, oh, I like A.T. Perry. That's a good option. Had some health issues, hasn't really been able to get on the field. He had those elite moments with the New Orleans Saints a few years ago. It was rookie season. And then Dennis Allen moves off of him, and that sucked. A.T. Perry was really, really fun. I was a big fan of his. And I know there's a lot of people already in the comments that have already said, bring back Michael Thomas at the time of filming this video on our live show Monday, November 24th at 5 p.m. Central Time. It has been 743 days since Michael Thomas took a snap in the National Football League. His last game, November 12th in 2023. I love Michael Thomas too. I love him for what he did for this team. He will always be a legend in my book, but that bridge has been burned. That ship has sailed. Michael Thomas will not be joining the New Orleans Saints anytime soon or ever again, in my opinion. Although it would be crazy, just isn't going to happen. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Name a wide receiver the Saints should add. If you think it's Michael Thomas, let me know. If you think it's A.T. Perry, sound off. If you think Gabe Davis, OBJ, Tyler Boyd, DJ Chark, any of those are intriguing names? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. First things first, we're going to... I'm all over the place today. Sorry, fellas. Next, we're getting into the mailbag. Live mailbag. We're live on the channel filming this video. The Golden Gang has questions. We have answers. Lopez is going to be joining me. We're going to have a two-way conversation. But first, we got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy app out there. This episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the holiday season. It's the best time of the year for sports, no questions asked. You got bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes, and it's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day on what gifts to buy and what to eat and which games you want to tune into, there is one place where it's always good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. My favorite thing about Prize Picks is picking multiple sports in the same lineup. And with basketball back, I can put Derek Queen and Chris Olave in the same lineup and root for both players to ball out for New Orleans. And we got a brand new feature on Prize Picks. Wee woo, wee woo. They now have early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. If you need some inspiration on how Prize Picks works, got a lineup for Turkey Day on Thanksgiving. A couple of fun matchups. I'm going to be tapped in, and hopefully I'm going to be cashing in as well. Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, taking the more over there. And then with Joe Burrow, I'm going to take the less on his passing yards against Baltimore. If you want to fade the picks, if you want to tail the picks, don't care what you do. Just make sure you do it with Prize Picks. And we got a sweet deal for you if you want to support the show as well as enhance your experience with Prize Picks. I encourage you to download the app, use promo code CLNS. You'll actually get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. It's a pretty sweet deal right there. Plug in that promo code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's always good to be right. All the information is in the comments and description of this video. Alrighty, CTM. First one of the mailbag. Excuse me. We have a super chat, just a little birdie letting the Golden Gang know. Golden Gang, our group of subscribers, join the Golden Gang for free. Redshirt senior kicker from NCA&T University that broke the school record with a 56-yard field goal. Name is Andrew Brown. Bro has a boot. I would assume CTM would be friends with this guy. We've actually had a handful of people suggest draft targets or dudes out of the roster. It's like, oh, this is my buddy I grew up with this guy, went to high school together, whatever. So there's a lot of those out there. When it comes to Andrew Brown, I have his stats pulled up from the NCAT Aggies website. In 2025, he's 15 of 18 along of 56 yards. He has an 83.3 field goal percentage and 2 blocked field goals. 3 over the course of his career. He is a 71.43 field goal percentage. He has made 40 of 56 attempts. So there is that. Also a punter. Also handles kickoffs and everything. So Andrew Brown, if you're watching, best of luck to you. Maybe you will be a Saint in the future. But when it comes to the kicker position, I definitely think that the Saints need to upgrade there. No disrespect to this player or to UCTM, though. There are definitely options out there that the Saints should be considering, and I don't think that there's any bad ones out there, if you ask me. It's kind of one of those, no question is a dumb question. There's really no bad stone to turn over to look when it comes to a kicker. Jaden, what's going on, brother? Trizzy and Lopez, do y'all still believe in Kellen Moore? That can't still be right man for Saints. He's asking about the Saints. What is happening here? What is going on? Is this in chit chat? Oh wow. Okay. There's no way. Okay. Sorry, we behind the scenes we just had some crazy stuff come through our Slack. Okay. Sorry guys, that's insane. We can't be having these things happen during live shows, man. It's bad. Trizzy Lopez, do y'all still believe in Kellen Moore that he can still be the right guy for the Saints? I see you said that yesterday. Losing some faith. Do you still believe? I believe in him still. Look, Kellen Moore's a rookie. That's very true here. I also think when it comes to Kellen Moore and moving forward, he doesn't have a great roster. He doesn't have all of his pieces in place. I think that he needs to get a better special teams coordinator. I think when it comes to the offense as a whole, there definitely needs to be growth. However, it's his first year. Be a little patient. Give him some time. Let's upgrade the roster. Let's let him build this. Let's get out with the old, in with the new. Let him fully take over and see what happens. Like I'm not going to say I'm not calling him for his job this year. Probably not going to be calling for it next year. I actually have a lot of faith in him. I think he's one of those guys that's an offensive genius. Give him a chance. Let him grow. Let him develop. Let him figure things out. Let him make some mistakes. And hopefully he learns from them. And hopefully in year 2, things are much better. But again, reminder, this roster is bad. So really doesn't help. All right, Lopez, it's your turn to answer the question if you're able to. Would you like to hop in and answer?
Yeah. I'm not even close to out on Kellen Moore yet. This is the big thing that we talked about coming into this year. This is not the Kellen Moore roster yet.
No.
You'll see that more next year. Maybe the year after that, when he can finally get that full roster that can run his offense, run his style of game. That's when it'd be like, okay, if we're still losing like this week in and week out, then there's a problem. But with what's going on right now, it's the definition of rebuild. The Saints are rebuilding.
Yeah.
Does it suck? Yes. Is it enjoyable to watch? No, by no means. It's not always fun to sit down every Sunday and watch the Saints get their ass kicked. Sometimes they do pull out a miracle and they win. And that's what makes the rebuild fun, is when you see that one win, and you're like, okay, we're back.
When you start getting that rolling, you start.
Yeah, we were talking about it. The last 2 weeks was all sunshine and rainbows.
Vibes were high.
And then yesterday happened.
And vibes
came crashing, burning down.
Bad.
But, that's the point of a rebuild.
Yeah, it's you're still in the midst of it. Give it some time. But it's fair to say, Kellen Moore, be better. But we're not calling for his job. Not at least at this channel. Some channels might, not this one. And that's saying something because I was championing for Dennis Allen to get fired for over a year and a half here. What are the targets for offensive line? Mike Nintendo Master, great question. For draft, obviously the New Orleans Saints are going to need to address a handful of positions. I think when it comes to the guard position, I would prefer to address that in the free agency side of things. But when it comes to offensive line, you can go Spencer Fanu, Francis Mauga, the tackle from Miami, Caden Proctor out of Alabama. Iowa has a nice tackle. There's a couple of them for Utah. When it comes to free agency, You also can go and sign some of these guys. Let me pull up a list here. I can find one. No, there's not one. There's not one built. I'm just going to read a list here. So from Spotrac, this is going to be 2026 offensive linemen available in free agency. So Braden Smith, Jonah Williams, Joel Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, Cam Robinson, Rob Havenstein, Kevin Zeitler, Isaac Sayamalu, Connor McGovern, Trey Pipkins, Jermaine Illuminor, Evan Neal, Josh Simpson, Ethan Pochik, Ted Cross, Laken Tomlinson, Ryan Bates, Kelvin Beecham, Josh Jones, Andrew Wiley, Elijah Vera Tucker, Robert Jones, Zion Johnson, Trevor Penning, Cade. Oh my God, what if you brought back Trevor Penning? Tyler Linderbaum, Greg Van Roten, Austin Corbett, DJ Humphreys, Larry Borum, Spencer Burford, Liam Eichenberg, Will Hernandez, Dylan Radens. There's a long list. Ed Ingram, Trenton Brown, Andrus Peat. There you go. There's a bunch of offensive linemen that the Saints could sign. All right, the Nola Chop podcast. Is there a possible way that we can unload Cesar Ruiz this offseason? Let me take a look at Cesar Ruiz's contract. I really don't care what the answer is to this. I'm going to say yeah, they need to find a way. So according to Over the Cap, if the New Orleans Saints made him a pre-June 1 cut in 2026, there would be $16.8 million in dead money, and you would lose $3 million. But if you cut him post-June 1, so after the draft, $7.3 million in dead money, you save $6.8. If you trade him pre-June 1st, dead money of $14.1 million, you save $12,000. If you trade him post-June 1, $9.5 million in savings, $4.7 million in dead money. So for for Cesar Ruiz, yes, you can get off of him. Best things to do are either going to be cutting or trading him post June 1. You save the most money trading him post June 1. But Cesar Ruiz has not been good enough to stick around, in my personal opinion. He's under contract through 2027. He has void years in 2028 and 2029. Got to find a way to get off of him. He's just not good enough. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to this mailbag and this rumors edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. Talked to wide receivers, answered some questions, and had a little bit of fun in the process. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.
There was so much that was going on during that cut. There's so much happening
here. Name badge.
That is your name, though.
Yes.
We can pop up some of the other ones that we didn't get to.
Yes, let's pop up a couple of those.
Because some of them are just very repeat questions. Shout out to I Love Football saying, Trizzy and Lopez, I think that next season, if the Saints win at least and play the best 7 to 8 games, it will be a great time for 2027-28 season. That's definitely all it's about. It's just improving season by season in a rebuild.
Yeah. You're not going to get a bunch of wins this year. That's never going to happen. This was always get through this year. It's going to be tough. Year 2, year 3 is really where things might turn around. I see CTM also in the chat real quick. He doesn't know that Andrew Brown personally, but he's been to a couple of games, and he's probably the only bright spot on the team. So we'll tap in.
Going to multiple NCAA games? That might be the most impressive thing I've heard.
That dude loves football, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Dude must love football. Yeah, it'll be a great sign for the 2027-2028 season if we can get 7-8 wins next year. I'd love that, man. I'd love that.
Like, definitely, we're going to have optimism in the offseason. Don't expect a 10-win year next year. Don't expect 12 wins. If you're pushing for a playoff spot in the final couple of weeks, like, you're still in the hunt bracket of the playoff picture, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, this is just ridiculous.
There's no
I'm going to tell you right now, we work with comedians. The people at Chat Sports might be some of the funniest people I've ever seen.
There's actually no way this happened, though. I'm sorry.
This can't be real.
I refuse to believe if this happened.
That can't be.
He's going to talk about it on Raiders. He has
100%.
to.
100%. He's probably already tweeted about it.
If he tweeted about it, we can tell the people, right?
I love football. Do you like Eric McAllister from TCU? Well, I don't know anything about him, but He sounds like a cool dude.
He said he's gonna let everyone. He tweeted 5 minutes ago. He's gonna let everyone know tomorrow. That's fun.
Did he really?
He did.
That's electric.
Shout out to Ethan saying #saying two is worse. Shitty booty groupie or Jeez Louise Ruiz. How bad can you be? Or Jeez Louise, how bad can you beat Cesar Ruiz? Hell of nicknames, by the way. I feel like the worst one has to be Blake Groupie. There's a chance that we're able to trade Cesar Ruiz. There's some incompetent franchise out there that might give us a draft pick, or maybe even like cash considerations.
Oh my god. Dude.
No fucking way. Dude. My god. This is amazing.
That's unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. We can't air it out, but oh my god, this is
dude. He said it happened when he was filming a short.
Yes.
This is amazing. Is that our goal for next week?
What?
Scream so loud.
Scream so loud we can do something bad.
Scream it up.
Yeah. By the way, Blake Groupie is a captain. So if you did move on from Eric McCoy, he's a captain, not playing. Brandon Cooks released, he was a captain. Blake Groupie was a captain. Alvin Kamara dealing with injury, he's a captain. So, oh, captain, my captain. Alrighty. Who's worse? Groupie or Jeez Louise, how bad can you be Cesar Ruiz? These are some funny names.
I think Groupie has to be worse. I think we might be able to get something on the market for Cesar Ruiz.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Nobody is taking Blake Groupie right now.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'd probably say Blake Groupie, but I mean, Cesar Ruiz has been in the league for so long, and he just keeps playing at a bad level, so I don't know what we're doing. Oh, my God.
Oh, Isaiah got 1, 2. I'll get you real quick, Isaiah.
That's crazy.
Are you happy with Kellen Moore's play calling so far?
Not yet.
Feels conservative.
There, it's a little too conservative, yeah. It's here and there. It feels like he's scared. It feels like we haven't opened it up yet. Like the playbook hasn't been opened up yet.
Yeah, also, I get conservative if, like, you're playing for something. There's really nothing the Saints can lose at this point.
Yeah, let's start slinging the pill.
Take a risk a little bit more every once in a while. I'm not saying play stupid.
Yeah, the risk is not lining up Taysom Hill at quarterback every 3 plays. That's not the risk.
Yeah, don't play stupid. There's a difference between risky and shooting yourself in the foot.
But you do need to improve the play calling. Red zone play calling has been atrocious. It's been disappointing to say the least, but again, give it time. Have some patience. It legitimately can only get better. Like, it can only get better. Alrighty. We ready to roll?
Couldn't us do better?
Garrett
Is he healthy?
Sucks. Garrett Nussmeier sucks. He's terrible. It's not a quarterback issue. No. Oh, you're saying Doug Nussmeier. Nussmeier. Doug Nussmeier. I had to think about it.
I hope he's healthy.
No. Don't take play calling away from Kellen Moore. That's the whole reason you hired him. If you do that, that's not good. If you take play calling away from your offensive genius, that's not good. You should not take play calling duties away from Kellen Moore. I don't think that's a good idea. My personal opinion. Could Doug be better? I don't know. But I don't want to find out, to be totally honest. Yeah, his Garrett Nussmeier blows. Alrighty, Lopez, any other questions, or are we good to hop on out of here?
I think we're good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, unless you guys have any other questions or super chats or anything we want to talk about, Johnny M., appreciate you for tuning in, brother. Hope you're holding it down in Fayetteville for me. Isaiah, hope you have a great day. I love football. Appreciate you. CTM, thank you for your super chat. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard for Loco Lopez. We're signing off. We'll have more content Tuesday, so tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we'll be live on Sunday. So hope to see you guys there. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.